Great Singing is the world's richest trotting mare, and obviously she's one of the best. Under the guidance of trainer-driver Ole Goop, she has raced in 9 countries on 2 different continents and has won an incredible 80 races over the past 6 years. The 7-year-old sensation has captured 2 Breeders' Crown titles. She won in 1986 at Scioto Downs and then in 1987 at Northfield Park. Tonight, Great Singing shoots for her 3rd Breeders' Crown Championship, a feat only achieved by one other great trotter, Mac Lobel. Great Singing will be challenged by Scenic Regal, who has twice before finished second best in crown competition. Kit Lobel looms as another serious contender. The 4-year-old recently captured the Yonkers International. Coming up, Great Singing, Scenic Regal, and Kit Lobel. It's the Breeders' Crown for trotting mares. The Certified Vacations Breeders' Crown continues its tour in the beautiful city of Montreal, Canada. We're at the Hippodrome Bluebonnets in the province of Quebec. Tonight, 10 of the world's finest trotting mares will compete for a purse of almost $290,000. Bonsoir. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bruce Beck. Welcome to our 2nd Breeders' Crown race for 1989. The story tonight is Great Singing. The 7-year-old mare has won over $2 million, has won 80 races, and captured 2 Breeders' Crown championships. Over the past 6 years, she has done it on both sides of the Atlantic. Working with me tonight once again is Harness Hall of Famer Stan Bergstein. The 7-year-old mare continues to amaze on the racetrack. But Stan, you think there's much more to the story.
There is much more, and it's much like yesterday at center court in the U.S. Open Tennis Championship, when Jimmy Connors, at 37, became the darling of the day and the hero of the crowd. One of those rare moments of exceptional sentiment in sport against 19-year-old Andre Agassi. Tonight, here, it's Great Singing, returning to North America 5 years and $2 million after the start of her career here, to meet younger rivals. And win, lose, or draw, she'll be the sentimental favorite of the crowd.
If there is a formidable challenge tonight for Great Singing, where do you expect it to come from?
It would have to come from Kit Lobel, who beat the world's fastest trotter, Mac Lobel, in the Yonkers International a few weeks ago, or from Scenic Regal, if she could regain the form of last year, when she came from 9th to miss by only a neck in the Breeders' Crown.
Now, speaking of trotters and world records, a piece of harness racing news for you. Just last Saturday, Peace Corps broke a world record, 152-4, as she beat the boys in Du Quoin at the World Trotting Derby. John Campbell in the bike, the time of the mile, 152-4. Back to tonight and the morning line odds for the Breeders' Crown. Nettie M 6-1, Great Singing 5-2, Georgina Seelster 20-1. Kit Lobel 3-1, Free Token 9-2, Kerry's Crown is 10-1. Mystic Virtue 15, Keystone Impala 8-1. And completing the field, Scenic Regal 4-1, Sarah Gal starting from the 2nd tier at 5-1. Tonight's Certified Vacations Breeders' Crown is brought to you by Certified Vacations, when you want it to be right. And by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. We'll return to the Hippodrome Bluebonnets for the richest trot in the track's history in just a moment. Welcome back to the Hippodrome Bluebonnets, established in 1907. Track conditions for tonight, the track labeled fast, temperature just perfect, 74 degrees, and there is a slight chance of rain. And we're getting set for the post parade for tonight's Breeders' Crown for trotting mares, and number 1 is on the racetrack. That would be Nettie M.
She's a mare with blazing early speed, and she should be close to the front at the first stages of the race. She's won 2 of her last 3 starts by 8 3/4 lengths, but she's in very deep water here.
Nettie M with a victory at Pompano, a condition race April 14th at 2 minutes and 4. Her last race of victory August 28th at Bluebonnets. The driver is Paul Spears, the owner, breeder, and driver of this mare. Spears is an amateur and is executive vice president of Hanover Shoe Farms. Number 2 in the field is Great Singing.
The Iron Lady herself, a veteran of 6 seasons of racing, 141 starts, 80 victories, and a winner of over $2 million, bringing her illustrious North American career to a close here as she seeks her 3rd Breeders' Crown.
And the driver is Ole Goop, a Swedish reinsman who's been the champion driver in his native country 7 times. Goop has driven grade singing the last 3 years. Number 3 is Georgina Seelster.
A lifetime winner of more than $127,000. She's been lightly raced this year with only 8 starts, no wins, but 5 seconds. One of her owners, Charles Juravinsky, also is part owner of the fastest pacer in the history of the sport, Matt Scooter.
And the driver is Dr. John Hayes Jr., the son of Ontario farmer John Hayes Sr. and a former veterinarian. Number 4 in this field is Kit Lobel.
The winner of $350,000 Yonkers International Trot, in which she defeated the world champion trotter Mac Lobel. Like grade singing, she's an ex-American exported to Sweden, and she's the chief obstacle to grade singing's 3rd crown tonight.
And the driver of Kit Lobel is Bernt Lindstedt, the talented Swedish driver who trains exclusively for the Continental Farm Stable, regarded on the European Grand Circuit as a brilliant driver. Number 5 is Free Token.
Most consistent of all the mares in this great field. She's been 1st or 2nd in all but 1 race since March 17th. She has lifetime winnings of $335,000, and she has one of the ablest drivers in the sport.
And that driver is Buddy Gilmore, recently nominated to the Hall of Fame, one of only 3 drivers to win more than 5,000 races. Number 6 is Carrie's Crown.
Another consistent performer. She's been 1st or 2nd or 3rd in 12 of her 14 starts this year.
John Campbell has banked $76 million in purse money. Number 7 is Mystic Virtue.
A $100,000 winner last year. She's won only $12,000 this year, but she did beat Free Token in her last start here at Blue Bonnets a week ago.
Steve Warrington is in the bike. From a Grand Harness Racing family, Warrington took over this mare 2 months ago from Bruce Nichols. Warrington has won driving titles at Free State and Pompano. Number 8 is Keystone Impala.
Impending motherhood has raised her to great heights. Shortly after being pronounced in foal of the Great Sire Super Bowl, she set a world record at the Meadowlands.
And the driver is Bill Fay, who drove Leah Almerhurst to a Crown Championship in 1987. He established himself this year at the Meadowlands as a brilliant young driver. There's number 9, Scenic Regal.
A year ago, this was the most powerful finisher in American trotting, closing from 9th to miss winning last year's Breeders' Crown by only a head.
The pilot is Harold Story, 69 years old and showing no signs of slowing down. And finally, number 10, Sarah Gow.
A $300,000 winner. She finished 3rd behind Armbro Flory and Scenic Regal in last year's Breeders' Crown. She has raced well in her last 2 races, and she starts in the 2nd tier tonight.
And in the bike is Thomas Strauss, who drove Sarah Gow to a 3rd place finish in last year's Breeders' Crown. Let's take a look at the current odds for tonight's Breeders' Crown. And as expected, grade singing is getting a lot of the play here at the Hippodrome Blue Bonnets. Grade singing right now being held at 8-5, the public's choice. Kit Lobel taking some money, 3-1 right now on the tote board. Taking a look at the rest of the field, mostly long shots. Carrie's Crown, possibly an overlay at 10-1, and Keystone Impala also at 14-1. Well, there are a lot more stories in this race besides just grade singing. Right now, for a look at the top contenders, let's check in with Gary Seibel.
Thanks, Bruce. Very much like last week's aged mare pace, tonight's race brings together the finest ladies in the sport, but this time they're on the trotting side. And there's no question that the horse to beat tonight is world champion grade singing. She set a new lifetime mark and lowered the world record to 155-4 for distaffers several starts back. She's very sharp right now. She's got the 2-hole, and she can leave for trainer driver Ole Goop. You have to believe that she'll be out and gunning right on the front end from the word go. And then there's Kit Lobel, recent Yonkers International Trot winner. She has also drawn well. She's got the 4-hole, and she's coming off a much-deserved rest after winning 3 of her last 5 starts. She is at the top of her game right now and posting a stunning half-lane score over Mac Lobel in that international event. Now, Kit Lobel can also leave, but I'm not quite so sure that she's going to want to knock heads with grade singing that early on. Kit Lobel may want to sit right behind that world champion. Then we come to Scenic Regal. Now, she is a 2-time bridesmaid made in the Breeders' Crown. She can leave or come from off the pace. The fact that she's got the 9-hole scoring from the outside of the first tier leads me to believe that Harold Story will wait with her and try to follow cover on the outside. She bested a field of open trotters recently at Yonkers, and you can't count Scenic Regal out of this one for Harold Story. And Bruce, one other interesting note. Now, my being a race caller, I know how tough it is just to call the race, but to try it bilingually, well, that's another story. And that's what the people are going to hear tonight, a bilingual race call, French and English. It's really something interesting. I think you're going to enjoy it. Bruce?
We'll look forward to that call later tonight from Jean de Hotel. We'll come back to the Hippodrome Blue Bonnets with a closer look at a singing sensation, grade singing. Stay with us. The Hippodrome Blue Bonnets, the largest racetrack in Quebec province, and tonight it's grade singing show. The two-time Breeders' Crown winner, the world record holder, 55-4 on a 5/8 mile track. That's what tonight's race will be contended on. Richest trotting mare ever, a divisional championship, and 80 victories in her lifetime. Gary Seibel has an up-close look at the sensational 7-year-old grade singing.
It was 2 years ago when grade singing last visited North America. After having captured her first Breeders' Crown tiara in 1986, she was exported to Scandinavia. But now her new owners look forward to her return and the defense of her crown.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's grade singing coming home to defend her crown in the Breeders' Crown in a new track record of 1:58 3/5 seconds.
After her successful defense, grade singing campaigned in Europe, but has now returned to her roots here at Grade's Farm outside Montreal. She spent 2 years racing as a 2- and 3-year-old with impressive results.
She recognized the place. She looked around and she looked at the places that I'm sure the paddocks that she's perhaps been walking in before and the stable area. And when she came to the track, immediately. And I'm sure she, as soon as she heard Mr. Deschamps, the old owner, it comes back, everything she remembers. She's an intelligent horse.
Her world champion credentials have been firmly entrenched as she has raced and won convincingly on the European Grand Circuit. For all those involved with this classy mare, it has been a rewarding experience.
Oh, it's been, it's such a great value for me. It's, I met so much people. I've been traveling so much, many countries. I learned new languages like French and Italian, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to work with her. It's, I don't know how I say. I'm just grateful. I think it's very, very fun.
As all good things must come to an end, so too must the racing career of the world's richest mare. Grade singing may very well be within months of that emotional conclusion, and it will be a sad day for all involved.
I don't want to think about it. Very often I've been thinking it would be nice for her to go off the race, and I would have some vacation, because there are not many times that you are off from the stable. I would think it would be nice. It would be great. But then when the day comes closer, when the rumor comes up again that perhaps this race will be her last, oh, then you panic. It's a sad thing.
But before the final curtain falls, grade singing will offer another encore performance for all who have admired her.
Grade singing is being held as the public's choice. Even money on the tote board. Second choice, Kitlow Bell from the 4-hole. Free token is 5-1. The driver and a great catch driver, Buddy Gilmore. Long shots the rest of the way. Carries Crown 13-1, and so on down the line. So the field assembling behind the starting gate. This a 5/8 mile track.
They'll start on the backstretch, of course, come around and go around one more time. 3/8 of a mile to the wire and then around.
And here are the records to keep an eye on tonight. Dream Button and Regal Canyon, 158-4. That is the track record for trotting mares. And the world record was established by Grade Singing, 55-4. And it happened June 10th in Norway. Impressive performance by Grade Singing, who on this oval is 24 for 25 lifetime. They will start on the backside. They will come by the front home stretch twice. Stan, do you expect Grade Singing to go for the lead?
I would think she would. She has enough early speed to get there. Nettie M inside of her has some speed too. But I think Goop will want to be in front, and that's where the champion should be.
Breeders' Crown for Trotting Mares track announcer Jean Deshotel with a bilingual call in French and English. Here it is, the second Breeders' Crown of 1989.
Georgina Sealster, Kit Lobel, Free Talkin', Gary's Crown, Mystic, Virtue, Keystone Impala, Scenic Regal, and Sarah Gal. Et celle départ, they're off de l'extérieur from the outside. C'est Great Singing qui est projeté en avant. Great Singing is going for the lead de l'extérieur outside. Keith Lobel is now gaining ground. Troisième tour, Georgina Sealster. Quatrième Ford Nettie M was off stride along with Georgina Sealster. Maintenant, à la clôture, Atterville now second. Maintenant deuxième, that is Sarah Gal. Kit Lobel a également perdu son allure. Kit Lobel is also off stride. Troisième tour, that is Gary's Crown. 28 et 1 quart of first quarter. 28-1. There's an inquiry on this race. Il y a enquête sur cette course. Maintenant quatrième, now fourth alongside the rail. À la clôture, that is Free Talkin'. Cinquième, fifth, Keystone Impala. Sixième, sixth, outside à l'extérieur, Mystic Virtue. Followed two wide by Scenic Regal. À la clôture, Atterville, Keith Lobel. Neuvième line, Georgina Sealster. Et loin arrière, way behind the field, that is Nettie M. On franchit le poteau d'une demi-mille, moving over to the half-mile pole. Great Singing maintient les devants. Great Singing is still setting the pace, 1 minute, 1 minute flat. Deuxième, second, Sarah Gal à l'extérieur outside. Gary's Crown and John Campbell are now first over. Quatrième, fourth, two wide à l'extérieur, Free Talkin'. Scenic Regal is now 3 wide and gaining ground. À la clôture, Atterville, Mystic Virtue. Maintenant, septième, now seventh outside, Keystone Impala. Huitième, eighth, Atterville, c'est Keith Lobel. Long contour rounding the far turn. Great Singing is still on top. Great Singing maintient les devants, 28 et 3. 3 quarters, 1:28 and 3 there at the top of the stretch. On arrive maintenant dans le droit. And Great Singing, the great world champion, still has that lead. Great Singing, la championne mondiale, maintient les devants. Deuxième, second, way outside and gaining ground. Scenic Regal, Gary's Crown in between horses. Atterville, Sarah Gal. Great Singing has the lead. Great Singing on top. What a great race again. Great Singing finishes her career with a great win.
157 and 3. Great Singing establishing a new track record, and it made Ole Goop made it look oh so easy, Stan Bergstein.
And it was particularly easy for him after he backed them down to a 31-4 second quarter, and from there on in it was clear sailing for the champion mare. She came her third quarter in 28 and 3/5 seconds, which is moving after her first quarter in 28-1, but it was that second restful quarter that gave her plenty of reserve. And once again, almost a replay of last year's Breeders' Crown, Scenic Regal coming from far off the pace and finishing second with a strong stretch third. But it's Great Singing.
Ole Goop, the driver trainer, the owner of the Grade Singing stable of Sweden, and this mare bred by Beijing Farm nearby in Quebec. So Grade Singing returns home to Quebec and is victorious in the Breeders' Crown for a third time. The great race mare, Grade Singing, victorious tonight at the Hippodrome Blue Bonnets. The inquiry does not involve Grade Singing, we have been informed. So Grade Singing, even though it's unofficial right now, should be your race winner.
Well, it affects the early breakers, the inquiry, and it does have nothing to do with the mare. Obviously, she went to the front. It was a wire-to-wire victory. There have not been too many of them. I believe 12 out of the 56 or 57 Breeders' Crowns have been won in front all the way, and very few of them by trotters.
25 for 26 lifetime at Blue Bonnet, Stan. This is her home turf advantage.
Looks like it. And a happy groom in Lottie Bjorkman, who we heard from just a little while ago. It's interesting to note that 8 of the 9 mares in this race taken care of by girl grooms or lady grooms, however you prefer it. And I think there's significance in that.
And of course, Grade Singing once even beat Pacers. This was a mare, one of 20,000 standardbred foals in North America in 1982, and what a sensation. Here's where they broke very early on the first turn of the race, Stan.
Well, it was all great singing's race, and in the second quarter, as we mentioned, once you control the pace in a race where you have the best horse to start with and then can get a restful quarter in, as Ole Goop did with great singing in the second quarter. Here you see the two breakers, and of course it's scattered the field.
Right now, let's go to Gary Seibel.
Okay, thank you very much, Bruce. I am with triumphant driver, trainer driver Ole Goop from Sweden, one of the great horsemen to come from that Scandinavian country. Ole, that's 2 for you and 3 for great singing. Has there been anything this mare hasn't done? And you can hear the round of applause being given to you and the mare by this appreciative crowd.
Yeah, she done it again. She's enormous. I can't believe she only, when it's time to get on the gate, she only likes to trot.
Well, congratulations to you. It was a great drive, and of course, right on the front end where she should be, a champion should be, as Stan Bergstein mentioned. Right now, back to Bruce.
Only 2 horses have won 3 Breeders' Crown Championships. Both are trotters. One is named Mac Lobel, and the other is Grade Singing. The Breeders' Crown for 1989 continuing, and a brilliant performance tonight by Grade Singing. For the 3rd time, she wins the Breeders' Crown in this, her 6th year of racing. And Stan, as a 7-year-old, she seems to get better.
Well, it's interesting, Bruce, that both the winner and the second horse are 7-year-olds. There were only 2 7-year-olds in the race, Grade Singing and Scenic Regal. And in Europe, of course, they race the trotters considerably older than they do in this country. It takes time for trotters to mature, and these 2 have matured, and they finished 1-2. And there's Gratian Duchesne in the gray suit, the man who originally owned Scenic Regal.
Right now, let's go to Gary Seibel.
All right, Bruce, and with me right now is Rune Anderson, one of the 3 owners of Grade Singing. And Rune, what kind of feeling is this for you, winning a Breeders' Crown with this great mare?
I feel fantastic, in spite of the fact that it's 5 o'clock in the morning back in Scandinavia.
So maybe everybody back there might be enjoying it as well as you.
I'm quite sure they will show it on our TV tomorrow.
Very good. Now, one thing I want to ask you, you also purchased the sire of this mare, Texas. What prompted you to do that? Of course, Grade Singing being a great mare, but what made you go out and purchase her sire?
Because Grade Singing, fantastic performance in Europe. She is extremely popular, and her Texas is now fully booked for the coming years.
That's fantastic. What are your plans for Grade Singing within the next couple of weeks, within the next couple of months?
Well, she's 7 now, but I think she will tell herself when it's time to lay off. But today she's better than ever. She made the world record just a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Rune, congratulations to you and the other 2 owners of Grade Singing. A great performance. She indeed is a great race mare. Bruce, back to you.
And a look at the winner's circle. Andre Mare, the president of Blue Bonnets. Tom Blakey, the vice president of sales for Certified Vacations. And Andy Grant, president of the Hambletonian Society, making the presentation to the handlers of Grade Singing. And that is the 3rd time that Grade Singing has been a recipient in this type of surrounding.
Mr. Anderson, incidentally, is one of the world's leading mining industrialists, and he's here in Canada on business. He's all over the financial pages trying to buy one of the biggest mining outfits in the world here in Canada.
Well, the race is now official. Let's take a look at the prices. Grade Singing went off as the public's choice and returned $370, $320, and $260. Scenic Regal, as Stan mentioned, came from way off the pace once again, $14.80 and $620, and Kerry's Crown $4.40 to show, and the winning time, a new track record, 1:57 and 3. So once again, the story, a 7-year-old coming to the Breeders' Crown, and victorious is Grade Singing. There's the official order of finish. Scenic Regal 2nd. Kerry's Crown was... For Stan Bergstein and Gary Seibel, I'm Bruce Beck. Thanks for joining us, and so long from the Hippodrome Blue Bonnets, where Grade Singing has won her 3rd Breeders' Crown Championship.